In these videos, we want to talk about PowerFlow, and this video will be the first lecture in four series lectures. So we will have four lectures in a row about PowerFlow. So this is introduction, then we will have Gauss-Seidel and Newton-Raphson and DC PowerFlow. So first, what is a PowerFlow? In power systems, we have three different bus bars. So for each bus bar, we have the connection of load or generation units. So in some of the bus bars, we have load connection, and when we have a load connection, we know how much is the active power and reactive power. So P and Q is known parameters, but the value of the V or voltage and the delta angle of that one is unknown. In generator bus bars, the value of the power, active power, is known, and the value of the voltage is also known. But we don't know about the reactor, the reactive power, and the angle. In S-like bus, we know about the value of the voltage and angle, but we don't know about active and reactive power. So first, what is a slack bus? A slack bus is a bus bar. Normally is connected to a generation unit or connected to the grid, and from that one make balance in the active power and reactive power in whole system. So if the generation and the load is not equal, the slack bus is responsible for compensating of that one. So in PowerFlow, for a two bus bar system, we have here two bus bars, bus number 1 and bus number 2, and they are connected with one R and L. And the current go from Vs, source voltage, to the sending voltage to receiving voltage in the current. So here, this sending end voltage is equal to receiving voltage plus, because we have some voltage drop here, current multiplied to resistance plus the reactance of this one. So here we have higher voltage, and then gradually the voltage going smaller. So from this equation, we can find the current, and here is the current. So I is the differentiation between the voltage in the sending end and receiving end divided by the reactance. Why reactance? Because normally in the transmission system, in power systems, not in the distribution, in the transmission system, the value of the resistance is very low. So we can ignore that one. So here we can conjugate this one, or we can using the same one, and from that equations we can find the value of the active and reactive power. These two golden equations, we call them. So what is these equations? In the first equation, we say that in the receiving end, the value of the active power that we have is a multiplication of this voltage to this voltage divided by this reactance, and the sinus delta. Delta is difference between the angle of this one and this one. So here we can see this active power is correlated with the delta. So this is the reason that the active power is connected to the frequency change, and the reactive power is equal to receiving end voltage, sending end voltage divided by reactance, cosinus delta minus V power 2 divided by X. So this one is more connected to the voltage. So, and this is the reason that we call the reactive power is connected to the voltage. So in both ends, so here is the maximum value of the active power that we can have, and here if we want to have the maximum value, delta should be 90 degree. So when we have a 90 degree, we have the maximum value of the active power. And here also we have different reactive powers, and the average reactive power is reactive power of here plus here divided by 2. We can make an average. And here is the same when we have 90 degree, when the active power is maximum. When the active power is maximum, then here is sending in the reactive power. So cosinus delta will be 0. So we will have this one. So this is a reactive power when the active power is maximum. And then the receiving end reactive power is reverse of this, the negative of that one. So here we can find the average reactive power. And here also this is loss in the line. And by this equation, we can find the loss in the line as well. So, for example, if for a short transmission line, we have a sending end voltage of 95 volts and the receiving end of 75 volts, it can be kilo. If you want to calculate the average reactive power of the line, if the reactance is 15 ohm, so the average reactive power is 1 divided by 2, reactance 2 multiplied to 15, division of the power 2 of sending end and receiving end voltage. So it will be 113 var. So if we have two bus bars and we want to make a load flow, so here the line voltage for bus I and bus J. So assume that this is part of the larger power system. So this is a voltage in this bus bar, this is a voltage in the second bus bar, and here we have the admittance between them. So the admittance between these two bus bar is Yij, and the admittance from this one to, for example, this part is Yii, and here also Jj. So if, for example, we have a part of the system like this, 3-bus system, and here we have generation unit, they injecting some current. Here we have some bus bars, so we can make some admittance matrix like this. So how this matrix generated by these equations? So is a normal KCL. So here V1 multiplied to admittance that's connected to this, all of the admittances that connected to this bus bar, plus the admittance between these two and to the end. So we have this matrix. So this is summation of all admittances connected to this bus bar. So it will be admittance of here, here, and here. So we can write that one by admittance matrix like this. And here, because S, the apparent power, is equal to P plus JQ, and we have these two equations also. So at the end, we can make this equation. So Pi minus JQ, so this minus because we have conjugate in the current, is equal to V I, it can be V1, for example, cosinus delta 1 plus J sinus delta 1 multiplied to the summation of the admittances to the voltages. And so in general, we can make this expression, this same equation, for finding the voltage and the bus number Y. So normally this is known values, this is unknown, and for having this equation, so for solving this equation, we only know this one, and we don't know about these voltages, active and reactive, are all together. Based on the slack bus, PQ and PV bus bars, normally we only know two of them. So this is equation with two unknown values. So actually one here and one of these three. So normally this is the reason that we cannot solve these equations without power flow methods we'll have in the next lectures. So here also for some examples, if we have this system, we can write admittance matrix like this. So we can find the admittances by these systems. Then at the end, we can make a Y-bus system for them, and again we can solve them. If we want to solve them, we should know some of these values, some of these voltage values. And so this is an example for finding the admittance matrix here. So if we have 3 bus bars, bus number 1, if we want to find y11, it will be admittances that connected to this bus bar. It will be these two. So here we can find this is the admittance between 1 and 2, then this is admittance between 1 and 3. So we should find this admittance and then this admittance and then make a summation. So at the end, it will be the admittance matrix. In the next lecture, we will go for calculating of the active power, reactive power with Gauss-Seidel method.